Nothing ever began. And now even that statement begins to dissolve, because to say nothing ever began still points to an idea, still leaves a trace of explanation. And here, explanation itself becomes unnecessary, not because something new is seen, but because the need to see anything at all quietly fades. At this depth, there is no longer a sense of realization unfolding, no sense of truth being recognized. Even recognition implies someone recognizing something. But here, there is no one left to recognize and nothing left to be recognized. What remains is not clarity. It is not confusion either. It is prior to both. The mind cannot stand here, not because it is rejected, but because there is nowhere for it to stand. Every thought tries to orient itself in time, before, after, progress, completion, but time no longer holds together. It loosens, it thins, it loses its authority. And when time loses authority, the story of self loses coherence. There is no sense of being inside life or outside life, no sense of witnessing life or being life. Those distinctions were helpful earlier, but now they feel artificial. Experience is not divided into observer and observed. It is not even experienced as experience. It simply appears without needing a frame. This is where even non-duality dissolves. Earlier, there was comfort in not two. Now even that feels like too much structure. Two and one are concepts. Separation and unity are ideas. What is present does not need contrast to exist. You may notice something subtle here. There is no longer any effort to stay open, present, or aligned. There is also no effort to let go. Letting go implies someone holding on. But there is no one holding anything. Everything that arises is already unheld. The body still moves. The world still functions. Speech still happens. Decisions still arise. But none of it is referenced back to a center. There is no internal comment saying, "This is happening correctly," or "This should be different." Life moves without consulting an identity. Even the sense of being human softens. Not in a dissociative way, not in denial. But the label human feels like a description applied afterward, not a core truth. There is breathing, seeing, sensing, responding, but no image of a person carrying all of it. This is why fear cannot root itself here. Fear needs a future and a someone who might lose something. When future and someone dissolve, fear appears only as sensation, not as threat. It raises, it passes, and it leaves no trace. Love also changes form here. It is no longer something you feel toward someone. It is the absence of distance, the absence of boundary. Compassion happens without intention. Kindness arises without effort, not because you are trying to be loving, but because there is no longer a barrier between what appears as you and what appears as other. At this depth, even the question "what remains" feels misplaced. The question assumes something could be removed and something left behind, but nothing has been removed. Nothing has been added. Only misidentification has quietly ended. There is no final insight here, no ultimate statement, no concluding wisdom. Any sentence spoken feels provisional, incomplete, slightly misleading. Silence feels closer, but even silence is not claimed. It comes and goes like everything else. This is not the disappearance of life. It is the disappearance of the one who needed life to mean something. Nothing is resolved. Nothing is explained. Nothing is concluded. And yet nothing is lacking. Life continues. Not for you, not to you, not through you. Life continues without reference. And that is the end of the story that was never written.